Hello and welcome to my review of the Autovox 1080p mirror dash cam. This is a very elegant and well constructed device that sits neatly on top of my existing rear view mirror. It consists of a front camera, which is just behind here, a rear camera which is installed just above my rear number plate, a GPS sensor located on the dash, and of course the display, which also can function as a mirror. The device is wired to my cigarette lighter and automatically starts when I turn the ignition on. It automatically starts recording from both the front and rear cameras, indicated by a flashing red dot. So if I go ahead now and turn the ignition on, you can see here's the flashing red dot, and currently it's showing the view from the front camera because that's the last view I had selected. If I want to switch to the rear camera, I can press this button and there we go. It's normally the rear cam that I have selected all the time. The screen is very wide but not very high. If I want to see a slightly different perspective, I can scroll up and down to show that. And I've got this set on manual brightness, so if I want a brighter picture, I can swipe to the right. If I want a dimmer picture, I swipe to the left. It's quite useful at night to have a dimmer view because otherwise the screen can be a little bit dazzling. So I'm just going to stop the recording now so we can have a look at the options. Okay, so here at the top we've got how much space we've got left on the card, and then we have LDWS, which stands for Lane Departure Warning System. I haven't used this, I'm not going to use it, so I'm not going to comment on it. Underneath that we have the speed, we can choose which units we want. And then driving mode, I don't use this. If you have driving mode enabled, then it turns the camera view off after about 20 seconds of driving, leaving you with just the speed and time displayed. Date and time allows you to set the clock. And then resolution is of the front camera. It can either be 1296p or 1080p. Obviously on 1080p it's slightly smaller files, so if space is a premium to you because you have a small SD card inserted, maybe you can use that option. Loop recording simply selects the length of each video file. I'm not sure really what benefit there is on changing this from the default, which is 1 minute. G sensor is how sensitive the device is to collisions. If it detects a collision, then it will lock the current files, preventing them from being overwritten. This is obviously useful in the event of an accident, so the evidence is preserved. Next up we have parking mode sensitivity. If enabled, then this monitors your car if parked, for instance in a car park, so that if someone should reverse into you, hopefully that will be captured on one of the videos and you can find out who's done it and claim against them. Volume, self-explanatory. LCD brightness, as I say, mine is set to manual. You've also got an automatic setting there. Sound record is kind of self-explanatory, as is language. Parking line is a feature. If you have it wired into your reversing system, then when it detects that you're trying to park the car, it will try and give you some lines to help you do that. And then the rest is pretty self-explanatory. So as I said, the camera displayed on startup is always the last camera viewed. I've got mine set to rear cam all the time with driving mode disabled. So the unit completely replaces my rear view mirror. It gives me a much wider field of view than the mirror, far better clarity, and vastly reduces the blind spots. There are a few other advantages to this as well. There's no more asking people on the back seat to duck. No issues with following drivers with super bright headlights. A warning though, because it's a wide angle lens, objects can appear considerably further away than they actually are. For safety's sake, spend a little time getting used to this before you go on any busy roads and rely on it. So yeah, if I want to switch the camera view while driving, I think we've already covered this. I can just press this button. The other thing I can do while driving is turn the camera off, and there is the view showing the current speed and time. It's also acting as a mirror now. I can turn the screen off completely by pressing that button again. And now this is useful maybe on a dark country lane where any light from this display could be a distraction. So you can just turn it completely off and use it as a mirror, but it's still recording. It's really comforting to know that almost everything that happens is being captured. Particularly if, like me, you've been through a couple of accidents that weren't your fault, but you couldn't prove it.